In the vast and silent reaches of space, the Galactic Empire's flagship, the Stellar Sovereign, cruised smoothly through the black void. The ship was a symbol of the Empire's power, equipped with the most advanced technology and a crew dedicated to exploring the galaxy. Captain Rex, a seasoned officer with years of experience, was on duty in the command center. As the Stellar Sovereign moved deeper into uncharted territory, the ship's sensors picked up a faint, unusual signal. The signal was not like anything the crew had encountered before. It was a series of irregular pulses that seemed to come from a distant part of the galaxy. The sensors couldn't identify the source, and the energy readings were off the charts. "Captain, we have an unusual energy signature coming from the edge of this system," Lieutenant Allera reported, her voice tense but controlled. Captain Rex glanced at the display screen. The signal was weak but persistent. He frowned. "Are you sure it's not an error?" Allera shook her head. "The readings are consistent, Captain. It's definitely coming from somewhere out there." The captain considered the options. This area of space was largely unexplored, and the Empire had always been keen on discovering new worlds and technologies. A mysterious signal could mean many things, some of them exciting, others potentially dangerous. "Very well," Rex said decisively. "Prepare a full scan of the area. Let's see if we can locate the source of this signal." As the crew worked diligently to enhance the scan, the Stellar Sovereign altered its course towards the origin of the signal. The ship's powerful sensors began to sweep the surrounding space, searching for any clues. Hours passed, and the signal grew stronger as they approached. Suddenly, the signal intensified, almost as if it were guiding them. The crew could feel a growing sense of anticipation. What could be out here in this remote part of the galaxy? The signal's strength suggested it was something significant, perhaps an ancient artifact or a hidden outpost. "Captain, we are closing in on the source," Allera reported. "The energy readings are off the charts. It's unlike anything we've ever seen." Captain Rex leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Increase the power to the sensors and scan for any signs of a structure or spacecraft." The crew worked quickly, adjusting controls and analyzing the data. The mysterious signal continued to pulse, leading them towards a dense region of space. The star charts showed no known objects in this area, making the signal even more intriguing. As the Stellar Sovereign approached the coordinates, the sensors detected a large, unexplained mass cloaked in an advanced stealth field. The energy signature matched the one they had been tracking, but the cloaking technology was far beyond what the Empire had ever encountered. "Captain, we've found something," Lieutenant Allera announced. Her voice was a mix of awe and concern. "There's a massive object ahead. It's hidden from our view, but the energy readings confirm its presence." Captain Rex's eyes widened. "A hidden object? Could it be a new form of technology or a hidden base?" The crew members exchanged nervous glances. The unknown could be both exciting and perilous. The captain knew they had to proceed with caution.
In the vast and silent reaches of space, the Galactic Empire's flagship, the Stellar Sovereign, cruised smoothly through the black void. The ship was a symbol of the Empire's power, equipped with the most advanced technology and a crew dedicated to exploring the galaxy. Captain Rex, a seasoned officer with years of experience, was on duty in the command center. As the Stellar Sovereign moved deeper into uncharted territory, the ship's sensors picked up a faint, unusual signal. The signal was not like anything the crew had encountered before. It was a series of irregular pulses that seemed to come from a distant part of the galaxy. The sensors couldn't identify the source, and the energy readings were off the charts. "Captain, we have an unusual energy signature coming from the edge of this system," Lieutenant Allera reported, her voice tense but controlled. Captain Rex glanced at the display screen. The signal was weak but persistent. He frowned. "Are you sure it's not an error?" Allera shook her head. "The readings are consistent, Captain. It's definitely coming from somewhere out there." The captain considered the options. This area of space was largely unexplored, and the Empire had always been keen on discovering new worlds and technologies. A mysterious signal could mean many things, some of them exciting, others potentially dangerous. Very well, Rax said decisively. Prepare a full scan of the area. Let's see if we can locate the source of this signal. As the crew worked diligently to enhance the scan, the Stellar Sovereign altered its course towards the origin of the signal. The ship's powerful sensors began to sweep the surrounding space, searching for any clues. Hours passed, and the signal grew stronger as they approached. Suddenly, the signal intensified, almost as if it were guiding them. The crew could feel a growing sense of anticipation. What could be out here in this remote part of the galaxy? The signal's strength suggested it was something significant, perhaps an ancient artifact or a hidden outpost. "Captain, we are closing in on the source," Alara reported. "The energy readings are off the charts. It's unlike anything we've ever seen." Captain Rax leaned forward, his interest piqued. "Increase the power to the sensors and scan for any signs of a structure or spacecraft." The crew worked quickly, adjusting controls and analyzing the data. The mysterious signal continued to pulse, leading them towards a dense region of space. The star charts showed no known objects in this area, making the signal even more intriguing. As the Stellar Sovereign approached the coordinates, the sensors detected a large, unexplained mass cloaked in an advanced stealth field. The energy signature matched the one they had been tracking, but the cloaking technology was far beyond what the Empire had ever encountered. "Captain, we've found something," Lieutenant Alara announced. Her voice was a mix of awe and concern. "There's a massive object ahead. It's hidden from our view, but the energy readings confirm its presence." Captain Rax's eyes widened. "A hidden object? Could it be a new form of technology or a hidden base?" The crew members exchanged nervous glances. The unknown could be both exciting and perilous. The captain knew they had to proceed with caution. "Prepare to investigate further," Rax ordered. "We need to uncover what's hidden behind that cloaking field. But be ready for anything." As the Stellar Sovereign moved closer to the hidden object, the atmosphere in the command center grew tense. The crew could sense the significance of their discovery. Whatever lay ahead was shrouded in mystery, and the possibilities were endless. The ship's powerful scanners worked to penetrate the cloaking field, revealing faint outlines of the massive structure. The sensors displayed a colossal vessel, much larger than anything the Empire had ever built. The design was unlike any known spacecraft, with sleek lines and advanced features. Captain Rax stared at the screen, his mind racing. What in the galaxy is this? The mystery of the hidden supercarrier had begun. The Stellar Sovereign was about to uncover secrets that could change everything the Galactic Empire knew about Earth and its capabilities. The Stellar Sovereign approached the massive, cloaked structure with growing anticipation. Captain Rax stood in the command center, his eyes fixed on the main screen. The mysterious vessel, hidden behind a sophisticated cloaking field, was now just a short distance away. "Captain, we're closing in on the hidden object," Lieutenant Alara reported, her voice steady despite the tension in the room. "Our sensors are trying to penetrate the cloaking field, but it's very advanced." Rax nodded, his mind racing. The possibilities of what lay behind the cloak were endless. It could be anything from a forgotten relic to a powerful new weapon. The thought of uncovering such a significant discovery was both thrilling and daunting. "Increase the sensor power and continue scanning," Rax ordered. "We need to get a clear image of what we're dealing with." The crew worked diligently, adjusting controls and fine-tuning the sensors. The screen flickered with static and then began to clear. Slowly, the outlines of the massive vessel started to emerge. The Supercarrier, now partially visible, was far larger than the Stellar Sovereign. Its sleek design and advanced features were like nothing the Empire had ever seen. "Captain, we're getting a clearer image," Alara said. "The design is unlike any known technology. It's clearly a highly advanced spacecraft." Rax leaned closer to the screen, his eyes widening in surprise. "Is there any way to identify its origin?" Alara shook her head. "Not yet, Captain. The technology is unfamiliar, but the size and energy readings suggest it's a massive and powerful ship." The captain's curiosity was piqued. He knew the Empire had explored many worlds, but they had never encountered anything like this. The ship's design was smooth and streamlined, with a metallic sheen that reflected the light of distant stars. It was both intimidating and awe-inspiring. "Prepare to establish communication with the vessel," Rax ordered. "We need to find out if anyone is on board and what their intentions are." The crew activated the communication systems and sent a standard hailing signal to the hidden supercarrier. The message was simple. "This is Captain Rax of the Stellar Sovereign. We have detected your vessel and seek to establish contact. Please respond." The crew waited in tense silence, hoping for a reply. Moments passed with no response. The supercarrier remained silent, its cloaking field still active. The lack of response only added to the mystery and the sense of urgency. "Captain, we're still not receiving any reply," Alara reported. "It's as if the ship is completely inactive or deliberately avoiding contact." Rax frowned. "Can we scan for any signs of activity on board?" The crew continued their scans, searching for any indication of life or operational systems. They detected faint energy readings coming from within the supercarrier, suggesting that parts of the ship were still functional. The ship's hull was incredibly advanced, with defensive systems that had so far withstood all attempts to penetrate the cloaking field. "Captain, we're picking up faint signs of power being used inside the vessel," Alara said. "It seems to be in standby mode, but the systems are operational." Rax took a deep breath. The situation was becoming more complex. The supercarrier was clearly a significant find, and its silent, hidden presence posed many questions. Why was it here? Who built it? And what was its purpose? "Keep trying to establish contact," Rax said. "We need to find out more about this ship. Its presence here is too important to ignore." As the Stellar Sovereign continued its efforts to communicate with the hidden supercarrier, the crew couldn't shake the feeling that they were on the brink of a major discovery. The mystery of the supercarrier had only deepened, and the excitement of uncovering its secrets was palpable. The captain knew that whatever lay ahead, it was bound to have a significant impact on the Empire's understanding of Earth and its capabilities. The hidden supercarrier was a puzzle waiting to be solved, and the Stellar Sovereign was at the heart of this incredible revelation. The Stellar Sovereign hovered near the enormous hidden vessel, its crew on edge. Captain Rax stood at the command center, his eyes locked on the display screen. The massive supercarrier, still partially cloaked, loomed like a shadowy giant. The tension among the crew was palpable as they waited for a response to their earlier communication attempts. "Captain, the supercarrier still isn't responding to our hails," Lieutenant Alara reported, her tone laced with concern. "We're picking up intermittent energy fluctuations inside the ship, but no direct signals." Rax frowned. "Prepare to send another message. Make it clear that we mean no harm and are only here to investigate." The crew quickly sent another communication stating, "This is Captain Rax of the Stellar Sovereign. We request permission to dock and inspect your vessel. We come in peace." The minutes ticked by slowly as the crew watched the screen, hoping for a reply. The supercarrier remained silent, its cloaking field still active. The ship's advanced technology was impressive, but its lack of response was unsettling. "Captain, we're detecting increased energy levels within the supercarrier," Alara said. "It looks like the ship is powering up its systems." Rax's eyes narrowed. The rising energy levels were a worrying sign. It suggested that the supercarrier might be preparing for something, perhaps a defensive maneuver or even an attack. "Alert the crew to be on high alert," Rax ordered. "We need to be ready for anything. Prepare the ship's defenses and make sure all crew members are stationed at their posts." As the crew readied themselves for potential danger, the supercarrier's cloaking field flickered. For a brief moment, the ship's silhouette became more visible, revealing its massive size and formidable structure. The sight was both awe-inspiring and intimidating. "Captain, the supercarrier is still not responding, but its defensive systems are fully active," Alara reported. "We're picking up signs of weapons systems being powered up." Rax took a deep breath. The situation was becoming more tense by the minute. The supercarrier's lack of communication and the activation of its defensive systems suggested that it was preparing for a confrontation. "Hold position and keep scanning," Rax said firmly. "We need to gather as much information as possible before taking any further action." The crew continued to monitor the supercarrier, their eyes constantly shifting between the screens and the surrounding space. The atmosphere in the command center was charged with nervous energy. Every crew member was on edge, aware that the situation could escalate at any moment. Suddenly, the supercarrier's cloaking field began to shimmer and pulse, revealing more of its structure. The ship's advanced technology was evident in its sleek lines and powerful design. It was clear that this was no ordinary vessel. It was a masterpiece of engineering. "Captain, the supercarrier is now partially visible," Alara said. "We can see more of its exterior, and it's even more impressive up close." Rax nodded, his mind racing. The supercarrier's design and technology were beyond anything the Empire had ever seen. The ship's presence alone was a testament to the advanced capabilities of its builders. "We need to remain calm and focused," Rax said. Our priority is to understand the intentions of the supercarrier. If it continues to show signs of aggression, we will have to respond accordingly. As the standoff continued, the crew of the Stellar Sovereign watched and waited. The supercarrier's silence and readiness for battle created a charged atmosphere. The crew's anticipation was matched only by their apprehension. Minutes turned into hours as the two ships faced each other in the vast emptiness of space. The supercarrier's defensive systems remained active, but no direct threat was posed. The Stellar Sovereign held its position, ready for any eventuality. Captain Rax knew that whatever happened next could change everything. The hidden supercarrier was a mystery waiting to be solved, and the Stellar Sovereign was at the center of this tense and uncertain encounter. The Stellar Sovereign remained poised near the massive hidden vessel. The standoff had lasted for hours, with the supercarrier's defensive systems still active. Captain Rax and his crew were on high alert, their nerves taut as a bowstring. The tension in the command center was almost unbearable. "Captain, the supercarrier is showing signs of increased activity," Lieutenant Alara reported, her voice tense. "Its weapons systems are fully online, and its energy readings are through the roof." Rax's eyes narrowed. The supercarrier had been silent for too long. It was clear that the ship was preparing for something major. The captain knew that they had to be ready for an intense confrontation. "Prepare for potential combat," Rax ordered. "Make sure all defensive systems are online and ready. We don't know what the supercarrier might do next." The crew sprang into action, their movements swift and precise. The Stellar Sovereign's weapon systems hummed to life and shields were activated. The command center was filled with the sounds of alarms and the rapid clacking of keyboards as the crew prepared for battle. Suddenly, without warning, the supercarrier unleashed a barrage of energy blasts. The beams of light cut through space, aimed directly at the Stellar Sovereign. The crew's training kicked in as they scrambled to respond. "Incoming fire!" Alara shouted, her voice urgent. "Brace for impact!" The Stellar Sovereign's shields flared as they absorbed the energy blasts. The ship rocked from the force of the hits, but the shields held firm. The crew struggled to maintain control as the ship was jostled by the blasts. "Return fire!" Captain Rax commanded. "Target the supercarrier's weapon systems and try to disable them." The Stellar Sovereign's weapon systems roared to life, launching a volley of plasma bolts and energy missiles at the supercarrier. The projectiles streaked through space, aiming for the giant vessel's defensive and offensive systems. The supercarrier's defensive shields flared as it absorbed the incoming fire. The massive ship responded with more energy blasts, aimed directly at the Stellar Sovereign. The battle had begun in earnest, with both ships exchanging fierce fire. "Captain, the supercarrier's weapons are overwhelming our shields," Alara reported. "We're taking heavy damage." Rax's face was set in a determined grimace. "Focus on evasive maneuvers. We need to avoid those blasts and find a way to get through their defenses." The Stellar Sovereign swerved and twisted through space, trying to dodge the supercarrier's relentless assault. The ship's engines roared as it performed high-speed maneuvers, narrowly avoiding direct hits. The command center was a flurry of activity as the crew worked to keep the ship in one piece. Despite the crew's best efforts, the supercarrier's firepower was immense. The Stellar Sovereign took several hits, and the hull groaned under the pressure. Alarms blared as damage reports came in, showing critical systems failing and structural breaches. "Engineering reports structural damage in multiple areas," Lieutenant Bain shouted from the engineering console. "We're losing power to the aft thrusters." Rax clenched his jaw. "Divert all available power to the forward shields and weapons. We need to push back hard." With a surge of energy, the Stellar Sovereign concentrated its firepower on the supercarrier's main weapon systems. The concentrated barrage of plasma and energy missiles hit their target, causing the supercarrier to shudder. The supercarrier's energy beams grew weaker as its weapon systems began to falter. The massive vessel's defensive shields flickered, showing signs of strain. The crew of the Stellar Sovereign pushed their advantage, pressing the attack with renewed vigor. "Captain, the supercarrier's shields are down to 30%, Alara reported. "We might be able to breach their defenses." Rax's eyes gleamed with determination. "Keep up the pressure!" "We can't let up now." The Stellar Sovereign unleashed a final devastating volley of fire. The supercarrier's shields finally gave way and the projectiles struck their target. The massive vessel trembled under the assault and its weapon systems began to fail. The supercarrier's energy blasts grew sporadic as it struggled to maintain its defense. The Stellar Sovereign's crew continued their relentless assault, determined to end the battle. With a final mighty explosion, the supercarrier's main weapon systems were destroyed. The massive vessel's energy readings plummeted, and it drifted, heavily damaged. The Stellar Sovereign had emerged victorious, but at a cost. Captain Rax looked at the screen, surveying the battered supercarrier. The battle was over, but the mystery of the hidden vessel was far from resolved. The crew of the Stellar Sovereign had won the fight, but the secrets of the supercarrier still awaited discovery. The Stellar Sovereign floated in space, its crew exhausted but victorious. The battle with the hidden supercarrier had been fierce, but they had managed to disable the massive vessel. Captain Rax stood in the command center, his face tired but determined. The supercarrier was now drifting, its power systems barely functional. "Captain, we've successfully disabled the supercarrier's main systems," Lieutenant Alara reported. "The ship is no longer a threat. We're ready to board and investigate." Rax nodded, his mind racing. The battle had been intense, but the real mystery of the supercarrier still needed to be solved. "Prepare a boarding team," he ordered. "We need to find out what this ship is and why it was hidden." The crew quickly assembled a team of engineers and security officers. They donned their spacesuits and prepared to board the damaged supercarrier. The atmosphere on the Stellar Sovereign was tense but focused. The crew was eager to uncover the secrets of the mysterious vessel. The boarding team approached the supercarrier, using the ship's docking clamps to secure their position. They entered through an airlock and moved cautiously into the dark, silent interior of the massive vessel. The corridors were eerily quiet, and the faint glow of emergency lights cast long shadows on the walls. "Stay alert," Rax instructed as they moved through the supercarrier. "We don't know what we might find." The team made their way through the ship, examining its advanced technology and impressive design. The supercarrier's interior was a maze of sleek metallic corridors and high-tech control rooms. The damage from the battle was evident, with debris scattered throughout the ship. As they explored, they discovered something unexpected. The supercarrier was not just a warship, it was a vessel of great significance. In one of the main control rooms, they found a central computer system still functioning despite the damage. "Captain, I'm accessing the supercarrier's central database," Alara said, her voice filled with wonder. "This ship contains detailed records and information about Earth." Rax's eyes widened. The supercarrier's purpose was becoming clearer. "What kind of information are we talking about?" Alara's fingers flew over the control panel. The records show that this ship was part of a long-term observation program. "It appears that the Galactic Empire has been monitoring Earth for centuries." Rax was stunned. "So this supercarrier was not here to attack us, but to observe us?" Alara nodded. "It looks like it. The records include detailed observations of Earth's technological advancements, military capabilities, and even social developments. This ship was essentially a floating research station." The revelation was shocking. The supercarrier, once seen as a potential threat, was actually a relic of the Empire's ongoing interest in Earth. The crew continued to explore, finding more evidence that supported this theory. They discovered logs of observations, reports on Earth's history, and even recordings of human activities. "This is incredible," Rax said, looking at the records. "The Empire has been watching us for a long time, but why? And why did they keep it hidden?" Alara shook her head. "The reasons are not entirely clear from these records. However, it seems that the observation program was kept secret, even within the Empire. The ship's mission was to gather intelligence on Earth without revealing its presence." The crew continued their investigation, piecing together the story of the supercarrier. It became evident that the ship had been part of a larger, covert operation to monitor Earth's progress and potential. Rax stood in the control room, reflecting on the implications of their discovery. "We've uncovered a significant piece of Galactic Empire history. This ship and its mission show that Earth has been more important than we realized." The team returned to the Stellar Sovereign, carrying with them the supercarrier's data and records. The revelation of the Empire's secret observation program was a game-changer. It provided new insights into Earth's place in the galaxy and the Empire's interest in humanity. As the Stellar Sovereign left the damaged supercarrier behind, the crew was filled with a sense of accomplishment and curiosity. The battle had been intense, but the truth they had uncovered was even more surprising. The hidden supercarrier had been a key to understanding the Empire's long-standing fascination with Earth. Captain Rax knew that the information they had gathered would have far-reaching consequences. The secrets of the Supercarrier had opened a new chapter in humanity's relationship with the Galactic Empire, one that promised to be as complex and intriguing as the vessel itself.